Hello you, it's me. First video of the year. Woo! I hope you all have a fun 2023 planned. I hope 2022 didn't absolutely murder you. This is kind of an unplanned, unscripted, definitely video. Just going through my books, trying to make some space for stuff that I might be accruing this year. So there's some stuff I'm going to be getting rid of. I just wanted to do an unhaul video and show you what I'm going to be donating and a little bit about why I'm going to be getting rid of some of these books. First one is just a copy of The Gunslinger, the first in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. I love this series. The only reason I'm getting rid of this book is because I have a much nicer copy. Second one is Manifest Destiny, which is a short story collection by Barry Longyear, which includes the short story Enemy Mine, which was turned into a movie, I think. I read the first couple of stories from this. I thought they were really super boring. Didn't get on with them very well at all. And that was 3 years ago. It's just been sitting on my shelf all this time. Never going to get around to reading it, honestly. I don't know who I'm trying to fool. So on the pile. Number 3 is Paris by Starlight by Robert Dinsdale. I don't know where the cover's gone for this one. I've read a couple of reviews of this that say it's bad for the first 250 pages. And honestly, I don't have time for a book that's bad for half the book. As far as I can tell, as far as I read, this one was about somebody who is looking for a parent in Paris and ends up stumbling onto some kind of community of half-forgotten, almost extinct magical citizens of Paris in the same sort of way as Neverwhere, the Neil Gaiman story, and trying to help them find a new place to see out their exile or a new place to turn into a home. It sounds nice, but yeah, honestly, really just didn't get on with the writing style at all. It felt to me, just with the comparison I'm making to Neil Gaiman, it felt like the author was really trying to be Neil Gaiman for this one. Whether that was intentional or not, that's how it came across. On the pile. The next one, number 4, is Moonheart by Charles DeLint. This one is the second or third in a series, I think, of which I read the first one. It was okay. The first one kind of captured the vibe of that chapter of Wind in the Willows, Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It's very based around old English myth and Pan, god of the forest sort of thing, protector of the English countryside and a village trapped in time. But I tried with the others in the series and it really felt like they had a fantastic idea for book 1, and then after that they weren't really sure what to do with themselves, and it was like yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at book 1, which tied up nicely and had a good ending, and pretend the others don't exist. On the pile. Next one, number 5, is Light from Uncommon Stars. This one is so unfortunate, and I had it hyped up to me a lot, by sci-fi fans especially. This book to me was proof that being cozy and wholesome and comfy, that cannot be it when you're writing a book. There has to be more than that. This was like really nice and warm and fuzzy, but everything aside from that was terrible. I did a review on this one, and I think I was very fair in my review for this one, but that's on my channel. I will pop a link to that at the end. It wasn't a rant review. Maybe it was a rant review. Yeah, just didn't enjoy this at all. And I can see why other people did enjoy it, but I think for me to have enjoyed it, I would have had to forgive it an awful lot of downfall. On the pile. Next one, number 6, is Possession by A.S. Byatt. Complete with a cigarette burn on the front. This one is about somebody who is studying the letters sent by somebody I've completely forgotten as part of their thesis. The letters between 2 famous authors, I think, and them becoming sort of obsessed with the relationship they had. Considered a classic. I mean, you get it in sort of the Oxford English Classics printing runs. Yeah, I didn't think it was especially good. And if it's ever something I want to get around to reading again, I'm sure I can get out there and find myself a nicer copy of it. On pile. Number 7 is Death Scent by Robin Jarvis. I actually just was staring at this for a long time, like, do I really want to throw this away? Do I really want to donate this? Yes, I do. Even though this is super interesting, a super really just world build unlike anything I've seen in anything. It's very steampunk. It's set in space where people live in these huge brass and glass enclosed habitats. And magic is sort of controlled by this stuff called ichor, which is injected into stuff and brings them some semblance of life. And it's about some guy, the cover guy, who crash lands in his ship into one of these habitats and subsists entirely on smells. But when somebody dies in the habitat through some unfortunate accident, it's discovered that this species that this guy belongs to, the scent of death and somebody dying is like an addictive drug to them. Yeah, it's super interesting. It's a really good premise. It is a kid series, like a middle school kind of series. I just think it's one of those where I don't think I'm ever going to get around to reading the rest of it. Even though the first one was really good, I'm just not vibing with the series. Gonna put that on the pile, I guess. Do I donate that? Yeah. Number 8, next one is another middle schooly one, and it's Wildwood by Colin Malloy and Carlson Ellis. This one is very little kids lost in the woods, talking animals. Find your way home. Get back home. It had a nice aesthetic, and I think I picked it up because of how much of a fan I was of Over the Garden Wall. Expected it to be like that. Wasn't really like that. And it's just been sitting on my shelf, and I haven't bothered picking up the rest of the series because I am not motivated to do. On the pile. Number 9 is The City of Ember by Jean Duprow, I think. Again, amazing concept, but I genuinely think the movie was better. Yeah, the book was just a little lackluster, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and I didn't even really enjoy it, so on the pile. Next one, number 10, is The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. Unfortunately, because a lot of people that I've spoken to really like this series, but I think, I don't know, it just really didn't vibe with it. I felt that the main character was pretty unbearable, and it had the sniff of one of the cardinal sins of fantasy writing in my eyes, which is where fantastic creatures take human shape for convenience. Convenience on the author's part of not having to describe things or invent things fantastical. And if you're not going to do that in a book, where are you going to do it? I can understand doing it in budget TV shows like Buffy and Charmed and Supernatural, but like, there's no limits here. Why are you wasting your imagination? Yeah, I just didn't super like that one, even though there's like 5 or 6 of those out now, I think, at the moment. And the last one I'm going to get rid of is Aftermath by Chuck Wendig, which is one of the Star Wars novels. This one I'm getting rid of because I didn't super enjoy it. It's difficult, I think, to write things in a franchise because you have to make decisions that aren't going to affect how the franchise can run without your book. I thought there was some kind of interesting characters in here, but I got rid of book 2 and 3 of this series in the last Unhaul, and I think I was kind of holding on to this as a hunting trophy of like, I finished it, got to the end. So yeah, on the pile. It's hard to throw things away. It's hard to get rid of books. I am a natural hoarder when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, but don't be afraid to. I mean, somebody's going to make better use of it than you, So if you've got stuff you're thinking about, stuff you didn't really like, stuff that's just sitting there, you haven't touched it in 6 years, put it somewhere else in good hands. So yeah, it's just a mini little video, first one of 2023. Woo, new year. Hopefully my my upload regularity is going to be a bit more concrete this year. I've got 11 or 12 videos scripted that I just need to get off my ass and film. But yeah, I hope everybody has a lovely year. I hope all your wishes come true, and I hope you read really loads of good books. So I'll see you soon for the next review. Bye.